These are the final moments of 23-year-old Joshua Messier's life. The silent surveillance footage shows guards at Bridgewater State Hospital leading Joshua, a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, into a cell and preparing to put him in 4-point restraints. Minutes earlier, Joshua had allegedly hit one of the guards during a psychotic attack. Two of the guards, Derek Howard and John Raposo, pushed down on his back, hard, forcing his chest to his knees. It is a move expressly forbidden by Department of Correction regulations because of the risk of suffocation and death.
I mean, these are big men, and they're putting all their weight on top of you.
Timothy Grabowski, a former Bridgewater patient, remembers guards doing the same to him.
It feels like you're suffocating.
After the guards unfold Joshua's body, he never moves again, yet they never check his vital signs and casually go about their business, as Joshua's face turns blue. More than 10 minutes pass before a nurse notices something is wrong, and CPR begins. A little more than an hour later, Joshua Messier was pronounced dead. The state medical examiner would rule his death a homicide. She would also find that Joshua's body was covered with blunt force injuries. To date, these injuries have neither been explained nor investigated, and the Globe has found that 2 state agencies, including the Department of Corrections' own Special Operations Division, faulted the guards. But 5 years later, no one has been punished. All but one of the guards continues to hold their jobs as correction officers, including Howard and Raposo, who pushed on Joshua's back. And Plymouth District Attorney Timothy Cruz has decided against pursuing criminal charges, claiming there was insufficient evidence to prosecute. Now Joshua's death is raising profound questions about the safety of inmates and patients at the state's only prison for men who are mentally ill. At the time Joshua was killed, the guards in his cell had no meaningful training in mental health disorders, nor in the use of 4-point restraints. And were it not for his parents and a lawsuit they have filed, Joshua's death might have been all but forgotten.
He was a gentle kid. He did have a lot of friends.
According to his mother and father, Joshua had a happy, ordinary childhood in Charlton.
He looked forward to going to college. He didn't make it through the whole year.
By his second semester at UMass Dartmouth, Joshua was exhibiting strange behavior. His mother recalls phone conversations so bizarre and confused that she decided to drive to Dartmouth to check up on him.
When I got there, I couldn't believe what I saw. He was standing like on his toes and he was jumping up and down like this. It was so odd, and he was seeing like auras around people. That was the day that I lost Joshua.
Joshua had developed what would later be diagnosed as paranoid schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is really the most devastating illness we deal with in psychiatry.
Stuart Gracian is a Newton psychiatrist contacted by the Globe.
It often has its onset in college-age kids and teenagers. People lose their capacity to know reality from what's inside their own heads, and what's inside their own heads is usually very frightening.
In 2007, Joshua was admitted to Worcester State Hospital, where clinicians held him for more than a year. During his stay here and at other hospitals, he began striking out during schizophrenic attacks, claiming he was being told to do so by voices in his head.
I think any psychiatrist treating schizophrenic patients will have occasionally been assaulted. I have. It's just part of the illness.
At Worcester State Hospital, Joshua was assaultive to both staff and patients on more than 70 occasions. Eventually, medications and other treatments seemed to help, and Joshua's assaultive behavior stopped. But after returning home, the assaults began anew, and Joshua's parents checked him into the psychiatric unit at nearby Harrington Memorial Hospital. He had been here before, but this time he assaulted 3 staffers.
I was leaving the hospital. I saw all the mental health workers running by. One of them opened the door and yelled at me and said, "Your son just hit me, and he hit blah, 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 too." And I said, "I'm really, really sorry." I said, "I tried to get him help. I don't know what to do."
Joshua was charged with 3 counts of assault and battery. Because of his history of severe mental illness and his heavily sedated appearance, prosecutors and his lawyer asked for a mental health evaluation to determine whether he could be held responsible for the assaults. He was sent to Bridgewater.
They took him there, and I couldn't believe it when I got there to visit him. I Didn't realize it wasn't just a hospital, it's a prison.
Bridgewater State Hospital is a medium-security prison accredited as a behavioral health care provider. Today, it houses around 350 mental health patients, as well as convicted criminals.
He would tell me, Mom, there's people in here that have killed their grandparents, and he was scared. He was really scared.
Bridgewater State Hospital is a very dangerous place to be if you're mentally ill. It's not a hospital, it's a prison.
Timothy Grabowski was at Bridgewater at the same time as Joshua, though the two never met. Grabowski had been civilly committed after he was found not guilty of assault by reason of insanity in 2000. He left Bridgewater in 2009.
There's a few guards who are okay, but they have this sort of prison mentality, and they bring this prison mentality into a facility that is housing people with mental disabilities.
The guards would tease him and say, yeah, we heard that you like to hit people, you like to hit the guards. So he walked in there like with the X on his head.
On the evening he was killed, Joshua allegedly punched a guard in a staff break room during a schizophrenic attack. When Joshua resisted being placed in handcuffs and then punched the guard again, the guard punched back, hitting Joshua 3 to 5 times in the shoulder and the head. Joshua told guards he was having a schizophrenic attack, but that would mean nothing to them, as they had little or no training in mental health disorders. They wrestled him into handcuffs and leg irons and brought him to the intensive treatment unit, or ITU.
Often when you get in any kind of trouble, you would get thrown in the ITU, which is basically the hole. It's a seclusion and restraint cell. It's a 4-point bed. That's punishment. That's not treatment, it's punishment.
Video footage, as well as the guards' own descriptions of the incident, make it clear that Joshua was calm by the time he reached the ITU, but guards still put him into 4-point restraints. Punitive use of these restraints is a violation of Bridgewater's own rules.
When they put you in 4 points, they have you in cuffs, they have you in leg shackles. A lot of times they're pushing you, shoving you from behind. They'll give you a bop in the head. They're like bullies. They're sort of bullying you.
It's exactly the wrong thing to do. Your goal with a schizophrenic patient who's agitated is to calm them down. Putting a person in 4-point restraints is the very worst. It's an insane thing to do.
While restrained, Joshua suffered a heart attack. He was pronounced dead at a Brockton hospital later that night. Plymouth District Attorney Timothy J. Cruz has not sought charges against any guards, raising for some the appearance of a conflict of interest.
Because district attorneys work so closely with police departments and correctional officials, and they're all members of the same law enforcement family, some public might perceive that it would be difficult for them to make an objective determination in a case like this.
Michael Cassidy is a Boston College Law School professor and a former head of the State Attorney General's Criminal Bureau.
In a case like this, there might be reasons to take it to an inquest or take it to a grand jury so that there is at least more semblance of independence in the decision of whether or not to indict.
It's got to be the state doesn't want to press charges against the state.
Especially troubling is the medical examiner's original finding of homicide, which is listed as the manner of death on Joshua's death certificate.
In a situation where you actually know who the parties involved were and who the alleged perpetrators are, it's very rare, in my experience, to have the cause of death listed as homicide on the death certificate and not have any judicial proceedings commenced.
In a statement to the Globe, Cruz's office said their decision was reached after the medical examiner reviewed the surveillance video. According to the statement, she then concluded that Joshua's struggles and agitated state made him responsible for his demise, a conclusion found nowhere in her official autopsy. And a 4-month Globe investigation found that Joshua was calm and cooperative before he was placed in 4-point restraints. Video footage, as well as the guards' own descriptions of the incident, confirm this. As of today, none of the guards, including Howard and Raposo, the two who pushed on Joshua's back, has been charged with a crime or disciplined in any way. Joshua's parents have filed a civil lawsuit that is making its way toward trial. They believe this is their final hope in a search for answers.
The whole thing, it's just a nightmare. It's an ongoing nightmare.